Hi guys, today we're taking a look at the latest direct drive racing wheel from Cammus. This is the Cammus C12, which is a big step up from the Cammus C5 as it's capable of providing 12 Newton meters of torque. And surprisingly with this, they've maintained their unique design style which they had with their C5, where you don't have a wheelbase as the motor's integrated into the back of the steering wheel. Details are in the description below, including purchasing links, and I'll be doing a giveaway of this wheel, so more details on that later on. So I'll be showing you how to set it up, look at the design and how it feels when racing on my sim cockpit, and we'll see how well it performs. Plus I'll give you my overall first impressions, highlighting any pros and cons to give you a better idea if it's worth getting or not. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. But before I begin, if you're new to the channel, hope you can support me by subscribing and hitting the bell icon to get notified of my next release. The wheel comes in a large box, and opening it up, inside you get some instructions and another box containing some accessories in which you get a USB-A to USB-B cable, a power adapter, a power lead with a kettle connector, 2 mounting arms, a fan, a bag containing screws and an Allen key, and finally the C12 wheel. Taking a closer look at the C12 wheel, it has no wheelbase as the motor is integrated directly into the wheelbase, making it completely different to all the other direct drive wheelbases from other brands. It has a round shaped design with a diameter of 300mm, with the motor on the back measuring just 85mm from the front to the back. The wheel rim is all black with a smooth soft hand stitched Forks leatherette material all the way round, with a gold center strip with the Cammus branding at the center. And it's nice to see the rim can easily be changed by removing the screws around the middle, giving you that option to change it for a different style, but not sure when Cammus will be offering alternatives to this. But the advantage of having it like this is that you're able to change the rim at a fraction of the cost, as all the controls like the screen, buttons and paddle shifter remain in place and just the rim is replaceable. The faceplate is made from carbon fiber. It has a rev indicator at the top to indicate when you should upshift, and below that there's an LED display that's used to show your speed, which is taken from the in-game telemetry. In terms of controls, you have 10 programmable push buttons, 2 joysticks, 4 encoders and 2 blue dials at the top, which can be all assigned in-game. On the back you have 2 magnetic paddle shifters made from carbon fiber that have an excellent feel to them, and they have a nice tactile sound to them. Ports wise, you have a socket for the fan, a USB-B port, a DC input and 2 USB Type-C ports to connect pedals, a handbrake or a shifter. And at the top there's a power button to turn it on and off, together with a reset button. Above all of this, on the back of the wheel is a small rubber cover, and underneath that there's a Type-C port, which in the manual says is a hub upgrade interface. To use the wheel, you need to set up the mount, which allows you to attach the wheel to a desk or a sim cockpit. And just to note, this has to be purchased separately. Setup of the mount is pretty easy, and to briefly show, from the packaging, take the 2 clamps and screw in the adjuster, then place the disc on top and screw it into position. Stick the foam padding on the top, do the same on the other clamp. Now take the bottom part of the stand and attach the 2 clamps with the screws provided. Then take the 2 long strips of foam padding and stick it to the bottom of the clamps. This will help to protect your desk or rig when clamping the wheel. Next, taking the top of the stand and the fan, place the fan in position on the plate and attach it using the screws provided. It can then be attached to the bottom plate with 4 screws. This is what it should look like with the fan cable sticking out. Moving on to the back of the wheel, and we can now attach the 2 mounting arms with Cammus written on them facing outwards. Then slot the wheel into the mount and screw into position. You can then plug in the fan connector to the wheel, and just to note, the Cammus C5 fan and the fan you get with the C12 look identical, but for some reason the connectors are different. Plug in the USB-B cable and the other end plugs into your PC, and finally plug in the DC power input. And that's it, as simple as that to set up. There's no console support for the wheel as it's only supported on a PC, and to use it you have to install the Cammus software, which is available from their website. The software allows you to update the firmware on the wheel and tweak settings on the wheel, together with providing an interface to launch games from. There's presets for the rev indicator, and you can customize each LED to your preference too. The same applies for the buttons, giving you a lot of customization. For the display, you're able to adjust the brightness and flip between showing either the speed or the gear you're in. There's also a mobile app on both Android and Apple, so you can customize the settings on the go, making it really convenient, and it generally seems to work pretty well from the testing I've done. The wheel mount can be used for attaching to a desk or a sim cockpit, and you just place it in position and tighten the clamps underneath. It was perfect on the desk, but with my sim frame, I found that as the mounting deck is pretty thin, using the mounting clamps didn't secure the wheel that well, so I just put a piece of wood underneath and that made it rock solid. The mount gives a 45-degree angle, but you can adjust this to be either straight on or angle it downwards by adjusting the screws on the side. And as there isn't a wheelbase on the back, you can get your monitor really close, increasing your immersion, but obviously this is dependent on your rig or how you've got it positioned on your desk. Now I've set up the Cammus C12, which is connected to my PC via USB, and I'll be using it with the FANATEC Club Sport V3 pedals, which is connected to my PC, which is a custom build from CyberPower, and I've given details on this in the description if you wanted to know more about that. My rig is from Next Level Racing, and it's the GT Elite, with my monitor mounted directly on there, which is the 45-inch LG OLED 45GR95QE. And just a note, to use the wheel, you'll need to launch games via the Cammus software. So let's jump into a race on Acerta Corsa and test this out. I've got the force feedback set to the maximum, providing 12 Newton meters of torque. And seriously, I'm impressed. Even without a wheelbase, I didn't think you'd be able to get this level of torque. I can feel a good amount of force feedback from the wheel, which feels really strong. And details wise, from the track, any bumps and curbs translate well. You do get some customization in the app that seems to work well, but not to the level of detail provided by Moza and FANATEC. But nevertheless, in comparison to the Logitech G29, this is a massive upgrade. And one of the things that surprised me was the vibrations that it gave off, just like on the C5, which felt a little bit like the true force feedback on the Logitech G Pro wheel, where you'd feel the feedback coming through your rig. Have a listen to this. The wheel feels really comfortable and the buttons are all in easy reach, and the magnetic paddle shifters on the back have an awesome feel to them. In comparison to the C5, this wheel is a massive step up. The 12 Newton meters of torque feels really good and strong, but at max power I did find the fan was continuously going, giving a subtle hum, but I wouldn't say it was that loud to be honest. So in summary, I'm blown away with the Cammus C12 direct drive wheel. For its compact size, performance is awesome at 12 Newton meters of torque, which is actually the top end for most people in terms of power, providing an excellent level of feedback and detail when driving, which is far more superior than a gear and cogs driven system like the Logitech G29 or a belt driven system like the older Thrustmaster wheels. I'd say it's competing directly with the Logitech Pro wheel, Moza R12 and the FANATEC Club Sport DD. It has a built-in rev and speed indicator that works well with the in-game telemetry, and with the removable wheel they've kept things more flexible than the C5, allowing you to change it at a later stage if they offered a replacement, which is a big step forward for them. You've got customization via their app and mobile app, and I'd say this is a perfect upgrade if you're on a limited budget and already own a Logitech G29, or if you wanted to get into sim racing and wanted a powerful direct drive wheel and pay the least amount. As price wise, this comes in at just $549, but you'll have to buy a desk mount too, which costs $29, so at a total cost of $578, making this a real bargain. Negatives wise, there's no console support, which is a bit of a shame, but there may be third-party adapters available later that provide support. But be aware, the racing experience with these adapters can be pretty inconsistent between games, which is why personally I've never been a fan of them. Wheel upgrade wise, you'll be limited to just changing the wheel rim with no ability to have dual clutch paddles unless they do a mod kit for that. But to note, currently there's no other wheels available, and be aware of the shipping costs, as depending on your location it may boost up the price, but I do know Cammus are working on improving that. So there you have it, you've come to the end of another video. And let me know in the comments what you think of the Cammus C12. Details are in the description below for all the products I've shown today, including purchasing links. And if you're still here, to enter the competition for your chance of winning one of these awesome wheels, all you have to do is follow Cammus on all their social media platforms and mine, plus drop a C12 in the comments together with your Instagram handle, which I'll use to contact you, which will be 1 month after the release of this video. And just to note, my Instagram handle is YT Geek Street, and I won't be using any other account to contact you. If someone else does, it's going to be a scam requesting money, so don't get caught out, as this giveaway is completely free, including delivery. All details are in description below, and if you enjoyed today's video, check out my full review of the Cammus C5 next. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to be notified of my next release. Thanks for viewing and see you in the next one.